Welcome back, dear participants. So, for session two, our guest speaker will be Mr. Manimaran Ye. A brief introduction about Mr. Manimaran. Manimaran Ye was graduated as Electronics and Communication in Anna University, Chennai. Currently, he is designated as Assistant Manager in VI Solutions, Bangalore, and handling the major responsibility of supporting various industries in implementing several turnkey systems and system integration projects using NI products. He is also handling the major responsibility of improving the quality of engineering and science education and eradicating the impoverished methods of education and inculcating the interest for LabVIEW. Manimaran sir has traveled far and wide throughout India and Sri Lanka and has delivered throughout uh, thought-provoking lectures which inspire the students and kindle their interest towards LabVIEW, and also visited more than 200 Indian engineering institutions. He had conducted more number of hands-on trainings to engineering students of various branches on LabVIEW basics and data acquisition. He also has conducted many faculty development workshops on various trending technologies, including RF communication and wireless systems, advanced signal processing and data acquisition and controls, etc. He had done more than 350 lectures on experimental engineering education on varied technology topics. His key interest areas include RF communication and measurement and automation, sensors, data acquisition and signal conditioning, wireless sensor networks, FPGA based. So with this introduction, I would hand over the session to Mr. Manimaran sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the introduction. Very good morning to all. I hope morning session you got a very useful information about NI products as well as NI different application areas and different NI modules from Mr. Vishweshwaran. I hope my session also you could expect very specific application oriented or how to handle your regular classes with the help of NI products. So this is how the continuation of morning session. So this would be. So today we are going to see about hardware as NI LVS 3. So we could see about how NI LVS 3 will be and how we can use it for our regular lab, how we can use it for different lab purposes. NI LVS 3 has a functionality feature of connecting via Wi-Fi and Ethernet. So you can use that hardware for your IoT labs or remote lab purposes. So we'll see that for today's now session, and we'll try to have a few of the basic LabVIEW sessions also, so that I could tell you for different lab experiments how could you can use LabVIEW for your regular class activities as well as for lab integrations. So I'll try to present now. Any one of the participants or organizers can just confirm me about my screen so that I can continue over there. So hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay, fine. So now I'll just open NI LVS 3 product. This is the NI LVS 3 hardware. Actually, NI LVS, you have a different varieties you will have. So for example, there is one more NI LVS hardware we have. This is NI LVS 2 and this is NI LVS 3. So actually, I'll try to show two different hardwares. So now do you see there? The hardware what you have on my left side is NI LVS 2 hardware, which is only USB based, and whereas this hardware is an NI LVS 3 hardware, which can be connected via USB, Ethernet as well as Wi-Fi. And this hardware will work with only with computers. This hardware will work with computer as well as without computer. And moreover, if you see here, we have knobs for varying that voltage levels or frequency levels, amplitude levels, and we have IOs on there. And if you see in this left side, we have function generator oscilloscopes. Here also, if you see in this, we have function generator oscilloscope. Here, one good thing what we have when compared to LVIS 2 and LVIS 3 is the number of channels are more. So the number of channels are more here. So before I just get into these modules, I just want to show you the product detail. So how exactly this module is, what exactly NA-LVIS stands for. So NA-LVIS stands for NA Educational Laboratory Virtual Instrumentation Suite. So this is a LVIS expansion, Education Laboratory Virtual Instrumentation Suite. So in simple terms, if I want to tell you this particular single hardware will act as your entire lab. How? So because the single hardware, we have a lot of options in this hardware. For example, if you see, this hardware has some 7 to 8 instruments in it. So they have several IOs in it. It has analog input, analog output, 40 DIOs. It has a 50 megahertz oscilloscope. It has a 4-channel oscilloscope and 100 mega samples per channel. So here, if you see here, 400 mega samples per second, single channel you can use. So here in this 16 channel of logic analyzers, you have pattern generators, you have here we have a function generator. Here I have DIO lines, PWM lines, or if I want to work on SPA, I2C protocols, I can easily work on these protocols here. Because on this board we have a lot of options. Here we have a lot of onboard switches. Here we have potentiometers. So if you see, when I want to work with, this is what exactly I want to show you, the difference between LVIS 2, 2 plus and 3. So before we go with this particular comparison, I want to show you what are the things we have in NA LVIS 3 here. So these are the NA LVIS 3 we have. So for example, if you see this NA LVIS 3 has a oscilloscope, Bode plotter we have in it. It has a function generator. It has an IV analyzer. It has a logic analyzer or pattern generator. It has a variable power supply with the range. We have, sorry? It has a variable power supply of module within the range of plus or minus 15 volt where we can work out. It has a digital multimeter where we can measure up to 2 amps of current, 60 volt of DC. Excuse me. So you can work on resistance, capacitor measurements also you can use. So here I have a multimeter, I have a function generator, I have an oscilloscope, I have a Bode analyzer, I have a logic analyzer, I have a device test units. Because this IV analyzers, I can use it for my diode test, or I can use it for my transistor test. I can work on PN junction diode. What are the VI characteristics I can easily plot with this? If I work on a transistor or a PNP or a NPN transistor, I can work on the HRE analysis. What are the different currents for the terminals I can acquire through it, or what are the range it is, what is the saturation values of it, I can easily work on for this transistor purpose. So apart from this right side instruments, what do I have here? This has separate analog input lines on the bank A as well as bank B here. So if you see here, I have a A terminal and B terminal, and this is a prototype board. So in this prototype board, what do we have is, we have lot of, in this prototype board, we have lot of analog inputs, analog output, and we have this fixed power supply, onboard power supply of plus 15 volt, minus 15 volt, 3.3 volt, and 5 volt. And we have ground lines. So we have digital IO lines. We have, apart from it, we have onboard potentiometers of 1K, 10K, 100K potentiometers we have onboard LEDs we have here, and we have multiple switches inputs we have. And if you want to work on different circuit designs, so we can make use of these breadboards for our circuit designs. So that's what this particular hardware will help us. Apart from that, this has Apart from it, this has the Wi-Fi facility also. Apart from that, it has the Wi-Fi options also, so that we can make use of this particular module connected with any of our network, so that we can do access this hardware in remote purpose. So if you have an IP address, I can start work with this. So this hardware can be in a lab. I can start it work with my computer, and I can easily communicate with this hardware. So these are the facilities and features what we have. So here, when come to different lab, so you can use it for any lab now. So now you can use it for digital electronics circuits lab, or you can use it for LIC lab, or you can use for circuits one, or you can use for circuit theory. So you can use it for any lab, basic electronics labs also. If you want to use it, you can use, because the breadboard still remains the same there. So if you want to work on any logical gates, if you want to work on it, we have digital input output lines which you can use it. If you want to use on power supply for your op amp lines, so you want to give your fixed power supplies 12 volt or 15 volt, so you can make use of it. So you have analog input lines for generating your signals and give, or you can make use of the function generator to give the data. After your logic amplifier's output, so you can take it to your oscilloscope to view the signals. So this will help you of different lab experiments which you can conduct with this. So this is one good application where you can use with. So that's the reason, if you see these hardwares, what we have, this if you have, you can do the entire lab. So whether you use it for your basic electronics lab, or whether you use it for your advanced signal processing lab, doesn't matter, because when we want to work on basic circuits lab, we'll work on these breadboards, we'll work on this oscilloscope. When we want to work on a biomedical applications also, we can use these oscilloscopes to acquire data. If we want to work on higher audio signals sampling rates also, we can work with, because these oscilloscope ranges can work up to 100 mega samples per second. So these oscilloscope modules can go up to 100 mega samples per second per channel, so that you can acquire at the very high number of samples at high frequencies there. So working on a biomedical signals, or working on any small very feeble signals, if you want to take it from any of your pressure sensors, or any of your voltage variations from the MEMS sensors also, still you can work on this NA-LVIS3 hardware. So that will be really helpful to work with these items there. So here, apart from that, what could I do with this? So here, what are the provisions you have? So here, what are the provisions you have? It is, so once everything you have connected, do you see here? Here we have this audio in, audio out terminals also. This audio in, audio out terminals you can make use for your real-time speed signal processing. Everything you want to do, you can work. And one good application what we have, it is, this hardware has an FPGA in it. So if you want to do a real-time and FPGA inline processing for your input signals also, you can do it. And one advantage what we have is, this hardware has a USB terminal also. So whereas LVIS 2 Plus does not have any USB terminal, LVIS 3 Plus has a USB terminal on the sides. So if you see in it, I have a USB terminal in it, so you can connect your camera for your applications. So you can connect your USB for storage, storing your values, what you acquire with it. So your waveforms, so if you want to store your elements over there, you can easily store in this pen drive or in your hard disk, and you can use with it. If you connect a USB webcam to it, you can easily do image processing based applications with this hardware. So based on this image processing, you want to trigger something. So you want to run a motor, or you want to test the device. So those login applications or your device programming part, you can carry out with the So I'll come down for this module. So these modules, you can have different add-on boards on the top. So these modules you have different add-on boards over there. So these add-on boards will help you to work on what could I say? It as a different labs for it, which means we will have one baseboard. We will have one baseboard. So if we keep on changing top boards, we can use the same NLS hardware for digital communication lab experiments. We can use it for signals and systems. We can use it for biomedical applications. We can use it for control system applications. We can use it for power electronics. We can use it for different lab experiments. You can use. Only thing is this bottom baseboards remains same. These bottom baseboards remain same. So what are the different options we have? It is, I'll just go on Google and show you here. NI Elvis 3 top boards. So these boards are from Quanser company. So these Quanser company where we have different product categories for different applications. For example, if you see there, these are the different top boards we have. So this one, if it is, this is the same NI Elvis 3 hardware. This is the same NI Elvis 3 hardware, but if you see, this is for actuators lab. So here I have a normal brushed DC motor. Here I have a brushless DC motor. Here I have a stepper motor. Here I have a relay unit with a servo motor there in it. So here I can communicate with different types of motors and different control units or different speed applications, position control, direction control, axis control. So different types of control system based and motion control based, I can work with this. So this is one model where I can work on different actuators applications here. This is one top board. If you see, this is the hardware what we have. So this board what we have here is the blue color, white color breadboard units. This one we can remove and we can replace with this model. So now it will be for the actuators lab. So similarly, if you see here, I have one for Quanser controls board. I have Quanser energy systems board. This is mechatronics actuators board. Here it is mechatronics sensors board. So this is mechatronic systems board. So this is for the Quanser control board. So here if I have this inverted pendulum control. I have this DC motor module there. So this will be the DC motor module in it. So here on top of it, I have a feedback module. So based on that, I have a swing up control. I can make it as a self-balance pendulum in it. So in this case, I can learn different types of control systems applications. I can learn different types of programming part as the swing control, position control, balance control. So such kind of things I can use with it. So if I work on this particular module on top of it, I remove this feedback motor with a pendulum. If I remove this disc on top of it, I can work on the speed control now. I can work on the position control. So for different pulse ratings, how exactly my modules will work. So even for these things also, we have this LabVIEW course where we have, so these modules, how exactly it will communicate for you. So we have a course where for these add-on boards we have. So similarly, if I do it for the energy systems board, I can work on different for electrical oriented. So for power generations, so here I have one will act as a generator, so one will act as a unit. So how exactly I can transfer this power, how exactly I can work on power systems. So how could I can generate signals and how it has been generated and distributed. So those items I can check with this particular model here. Then if I go for mechatronic sensors, so I have a different sensors, 10 to 12 sensors connected on this top board. So here I have a triaxial accelerometer. So here I have a sonar. Here I have a strain gauge. Here I have a pressure module. Here I have an encoder. So all these things I have a fingerprint sensor. So here I have a thermistor. So here I have a sonar. Here I have a encoder and a pulse collector. So different types of modules I have. So different sensors I can learn in this particular. So instead of going on one modules, I can work on a different types of sensors I can learn here. And this is what I have for path planning robot. I can use it for different. Here, if you see, I have a camera attached with a 2 motor here. So this is a robotic application which I can work on different path planning, position controls I can use here. So if you see in it, so I can define on different logos here. So instead of it, I can keep on different stamps or different country flag. I can identify them or different particles I have. So position, so which direction it's supposed to move on. What is its paths control I need to work on. I need to work on a path planning elements. So several things I can do with this particular. So as I mentioned, so this NI Elvis is a single top board. On this, we can work on different labs over there. That's why we said it is a laboratory suite. You can use it. You can use it for any kind of applications. You can use it for any kind of applications with the help of prototype board, which comes on top of it, any of your lab experiments. If you want to work, easily you can work on it. So if you want to work on a different lab, for example, I want to work on a mechanical lab, or I want to work on an aerospace lab, or I want to work on a control systems lab, I have different top boards for that purpose, so that I can easily use it for different applications. And morning, if you see there, whatever you would have got it as a ni.com /teach. So this ni.com/teach will help you out with different what to say, modules based working. If you see here, I have the same hardware. I have the same Elvis 3 hardware, but I use it for different labs. So if you see here, this I use it for circuits lab. This along with this top board, I'll use it for different energy systems lab. Along with a different top board, I'll use it for a power electronics lab. So here I learn about the DC-DC regulators or DC-AC inverters or rectifiers. So how will I do it? So here, what kind of circuits I want to build for it, how I can teach an open loop system or a closed loop system with the help of Elvis I can use here. If I go for more labs, I will come to know about what are the different labs I have here. What are the different labs I can conduct with the help of this module. Do you see here? It's all are designed with the help of NI Elvis 3. See, I can use with this op amps with NI Elvis 3. I can conduct the basic circuits lab experiments with the help of Elvis 3. I can go on signal conditioning modules with the help of NI Elvis 3. I can conduct power systems lab. So different types of elements you can use, or different types of sensors you can use along with NI Elvis 3 top boards or a breadboard. You can work on it. So you can use your different labs for it. So here, when I come to different lab experiments, so only thing I need to consider is this part, the most important part, because so whenever I want to work with any DAC card or any modules, so these are the important things which I want to say. Yes, see, you can work on any op amp or you can work on any amplifier or transistor, whatever it may be, you can use. But only thing is that should be within the limit of this. If I don't have oscilloscope going beyond 10 volt here, then I will be damaging this hardware. So whatever versions I have, I will be damaging this hardware. My oscilloscope can acquire 4 channels simultaneously with the help of 400 megasamples per second with a resolution of 14-bit, but the voltage range what it works is plus or minus 10 volt. Similarly, function generator, I can simultaneously generate 2 signals out of it with 100 megasamples per second with a 15 megahertz bandwidth with a 14-bit resolution, but the voltage what I can generate maximum will be plus or minus 10 volt. So here, the digital multimeter, what do I have? It is a 4.5 bit resolution. It's quite a good resolution module. And the variable power supply is of plus or minus 15 volt. It is a programmable power supply, so you can vary it during programmatically there in it. So here, once after you have, I have more number of digital IOS channels for my controlling my relay units or sensors or actuators. I can control with this DIOs. Or if I want to work on a voltage level, or if I want to measure any current units, I can measure with the help of this digital multimeter. Normal voltages within the level of plus or minus 10 volt, I can acquire through these analog input modules there. And programming support, this module has a programming support in LabVIEW, Python, C, and Simulink, so you can easily use with this. And this you can use with the Windows or Mac or web software over there. So here you can directly program with LabVIEW, or you can program with web also. So one options, what do we have here is, in my Chrome, I have measurement and live over there. So here I have my hardware. So here I have an oscilloscope and function generator. So here, if you see, I have 4 different channels I have in it. So here I have channel 1 and channel 2 inactive. I'll make it as a static. So I can generate 2 different kinds of signal. So here I can acquire multiple channels of data. So I can enable. So what are the different types of channels I need to acquire? So channel 1 is disabled, enabled, enabled, enabled. I can work on different types of channels I can use with this. So where exactly we will be taking additional options also. If I want to take an FFT for my signal, what I acquired with it, I can easily acquire through this process here. So for example, if you see here, I'll take this static one. I'll try to define this frequency here. So here I have a frequency of 1 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz, or 1 hertz to 100 hertz, or 1 megahertz to 15 megahertz. So I can work on any different frequency range I can work. So maximum of voltage I can work on 20 volt peak to peak, which is plus or minus 10 volt. Minus 10 volt to plus 10 volt, I can generate a signal. So I'll say it's a 2 volt peak to peak. So let it be 10 kilohertz over there. So I'll bear it as 300 hertz signal on my channel 1. So let it be a static. So here waveform, let it be a sine waveform. The other one, I'll make it as a square waveform. So which is of 1 kilohertz signal. Peak to peak, let it be as a 4. So if I cannot reach out with the proper one, what I can do it is, you can easily type here as a 4. You can define them. So you can easily type with that. So once after I define it, so I'll go to my channel 1. I'll define channel 2 as well. So I run here. So what happens here is, my function generator is generating. When I run my oscilloscope, what happens is, I try to acquire my data. So what am I measured through this? So that also I could get through my oscilloscope here. Sorry, I'm just here. Here you can see channel 1, what data I'm measuring here, and what is the frequency I generated here. Here it is of 1 kilohertz. So here it is of 300 hertz. So if I zoom here, so do you see that I'm sampling at 3.5, 3.7 mega samples per second. I can go up to 100 mega samples per second. I can go up to 100 mega samples per second. So I'll try to zoom here. I try to take how many number of samples I need to take. So here I have 2 channels. So I can define them with different purposes. For example, I'll attenuate them, or I can increase them. So I'll change its positions. So I can change its positions there. Level, where it is. Yeah. So channel 1 vertical position, I'll try to increase 1. So I'll try to change it by 2. So here, so 3 volt. So now I can modify them. This is for channel 1. So this is for channel 2. So channel 1 position is, I'll keep it as minus 3 volt. So channel 2 vertical position is, I'll say it as plus 2 volts. So here I could see two different signals here. So these two different signals, whatever I take here. So for example, if I want to take FFT of it, so I'll take FFT of it. So sorry, 0. So for example, if I take these many things are there, I couldn't see how many signals are available in it. So what I do it is, I come down and enable FFT to it. So once after I enable FFT to it, so I need to visualize how my signals are look like. So here I have for both the channels, this is for channel 1. So if I say for channel 2, I'll get for channel 2 here for repeated in it. So what kind of filter I need to apply to it? So what should be the starting frequency and stop frequency over to it? So I can define the rectangle window or Hanning window. So I can define them. I can see what is the FFT to it. So do I need any mathematical operations I need to perform in it? So I can define them. So how exactly my data is there? So here it is there at 300 Hertz. So when I modify this function generator value from 300 Hertz to, I'll keep it as 1K to 100K. So I'll keep it as 30K. So now do you see here the peak of, immediately the peak changes from 0, which means 300 Hertz to 30 kilohertz here. So when I change here as 15K, I enter here. So immediately it obviously changes to 15K here. So here in this start frequency is 0 Hertz. So maximum frequency at stop frequency is 50 Hertz over there. So I'll make it as 20. Now you could see over there the peak is exactly there at 15 in it. So this kind of things we can easily measure. So whether it is of the channel 2 values or channel 1 value, so I could easily see them. So here I can take FFT and move on. So if you see, these are all something as on the fly, on the go, I want to take my data here. So on the go, I want to take my data. So once after I done all these things, so I want to see the values, I want to take a graph of it. So here, what are the instruments I use it? So here, for example, I take a snapshot. So I take a snapshot of it. I take a screenshot for what? Oscilloscope, function generator, take screenshots. Yes. So this would have taken screenshots for it. Then I can go and save my applications. So where exactly do you see there? These values I have got. So I got downloaded here. So I'll say show in folder. Hello here. So the downloaded. So what are values that we have got? Yeah. So our oscilloscope values here. So this is what the oscilloscope, what we have taken here. Is this? 1 minute. Show in folder, you have gen. Yeah. So this is the oscilloscope values and function generator. So this is the function generator value. So what we have got, and this is 1 and 2. And similarly, we will have for scope, where we have for scope. So this is for the scope. So here, if you see in it, we have a sine waveform of FFT of channel 1, which we have got it. And what are the values we have defined? So how exactly the settings of oscilloscope here, then what are the channels that I have taken in it, and what are the measured values FFT in it for channel 1 enabled for FFT of channel 1, and here what are the values that I'm measuring in channel 1 and channel 2, I can take it. So this is something you can use it for your when you are conducting lab, you can use it for your record purposes or observation purposes, you can use this. So the same way if I use it for example, I'll run. So I'll run my here. So this is for storing your values. For example, I say here, so CSV. So I want to save my oscilloscope values and I want to export it. So I want to save these values in an Excel sheet. So I can easily take and I can export these data over there. Or you can, I stop here. So these are, since these items are there in Chrome, right? So what you can do is you can directly save for your image. So this image would be downloaded, so directly. So this would be your graph for our, 1 minute. So I'll go to Word. I think it's not working. So 1 minute. So once after we take from as a screenshot, we can make use of it. I think yeah, we're not getting it. Let me see it. Fine. So then the similar way, what we can do it is we can do with our LabVIEW also. For example, here we have one sine waveform and one square waveform. So here we can define which should be my carrier, which should be my message. So for example, if you're working on any integrated circuit, or if I want to work on a differentiator, so whether we need to give some pulses for it, so whether we need to generate some signals in it, so I can easily define here. So how exactly things has to generate in it. So now what I'll do is I'll go for LabVIEW. So I can show you how exactly you can use it for different lab applications here. So for example, I'll go for a Elvis project, or I can do with the basic normal LabVIEW VA. Then you can use it for Elvis project there. So I'll go for a blank VA. Yeah. So Windows, tile left and right. So now basically in LabVIEW front panel and block diagram, I think yesterday afternoon session you would have seen LabVIEW programming part, how exactly you could use with this. And morning session also few people have asked about it, how exactly I can use it, my program for thermometer simulations or temperature simulations or tank simulations, or I can use it for a meter or a gauge values. So here, this is for voltmeter of 300 volt RMS. You can use it for my pressure applications here. So here it is for 100 psi. So this is for pressure gauge. What we have. So I zoom them and make it bigger, so it would be easy for everyone to visualize it. So I have a pressure gauge. So these values I want to visualize. So I'll take a digital display. So I keep them. So here also I'll take a digital display so that I'll keep here. So now here, if you see, few has the range 10, 100, 300, 100 here. So now, for example, thermometer, if I want to work with, I want to work up to 1200 degrees Celsius, starting from minus 400 degrees Celsius. Yeah, sorry. So here I have a thermometer. which is going to show me the values acquired by a thermocouple. So I can use my thermocouple for reading values, but I want to showcase here what exactly would be the value. So here I'm working on a tank. So tank should be from 0 to 1 liter. So the values will automatically will have that divisions will be automatically taken care. So I don't want to define anything in it. So here also what are the values has to come in it for the voltmeter reading measurements there. So I can showcase. So if it is only acquiring with a range of 230 range, it can be. So whether the tire pressures or any I want to work on something as tire pressure 30 psi or 35 psi, or I want to work on a boiler pressure. So what is the fluid pressure in it? So I can easily work on these values here. Yes. So what exactly I can make with this? I can easily do this. So similarly, I can design my own panels for my applications here. So similarly, if I work on, for example, digital circuit. So for example, I take a Boolean. So I take a push button here. So I have a Boolean 1. I have a copy of it. I have a Boolean and Boolean 1. For example, I'll say it as a X. I'll say it as Y. So here I have two values. I have X and Y here. So I want to see the result. So what I'll do is I'll take this round LED, which is for result. Sorry. So result, this size is also, I'll keep it as 36. So now I have this element. So now what do I have is, here in block diagram, I have a Boolean. So I'll take an AND gate or an OR gate here. I'll take an AND gate. Visible item, label. So here I connect AND gate one input here. So AND gate another input here. So AND gate result, I keep over there. So now I go to my program, run continuous, 0, 0, 0, any one high, it is 0. So in case if both are high, then only it will be high. If any one goes off, the result is off. So truth table for AND gate, it is done. So now how I will do this in my Elvis hardware? It is very, very simple. So if you see here, in my Elvis hardware, I have my breadboard. So here I will use here either 7432, 7486 or 7402, 7404. I can use what kind of digital logic circuits, I'll figure it up. So here if you see, I have digital in, digital out here. The same I have in Elvis 3 also. So if you see here, when I come down here, I have Elvis 3 here. In Elvis 3, I have these digital lines. So I can generate and signals here. So with this, I will connect it to the circuit. So the circuit output will be connected to the either onboard LED, or I can make one LED on my circuit itself I can easily use. So now whatever I do here in my program, the same thing I'm doing it in my hardware. So it is what I'm learning through my textbook, what I try to understand with the help of a tool in a simulation, I'll go and implement in my lab during my practical sessions there. So now the practical sessions needs to be present in your system. Always you can work, or you can choose a hardware which has a remote application feature in terms of Wi-Fi or Ethernet. You can go ahead with this. So now the same. So if it is in a regular lab, what we do it is, we will remove this and we will try to place an OR gate to it. So this is how we will be doing it. So the same way, circuit connections, everything remains the same. I will right click, replace Boolean palette OR gate. So circuit connection, everything remains the same. Only thing is I need to stop and run my code again. Okay, so I run my code again. Any one high, yes, it will be high. If both are high, it will be obviously high. So now the same thing I want to work on with an XOR gate. So right click, replace Boolean palette XOR. I run here. Any one high, both are high, it will be off because of it is XOR. If both are high, it is off. So now I could understand one part here. XOR is done. So if I try to include one small thing here, so I'll add here with a label. So I connect with the same elements to them. So one is for X input. So one is for Y input here. So this is result. I rename it as sum. I have a copy of this. Control C, Control V. So here I'll say it as a carry. I connect here. So now I have my logics truth table as usual. So if any one, both are 0, 0, sum and carry will be 0. One high, sum will be high. So if both are high, sum will be 0 and carry will be 1. So this is for your 2-bit combinations. If you want to work on 4-bit combinations, you will be adding 2 more here. So the same way, if I go with the hardware, so I'll be using 1 line or 2 line. If I use the third line, DAO channel 0, DAO channel 1, DAO channel 3. Do you see here? I have 24 channels here. In LVIS 3, I have 40 channels on the combination of A and B here. 40 DAOs I have. So along with this, I have few onboard LEDs to see my output. Similarly, I have onboard LEDs on the bottom here. Yes, I could easily use with this. So now, whatever I do with this regular lab, this is one for the digital lab. I'll say it as a digital lab. For example, I want to save it. G, college details, LabVIEW Academy, Nagarjuna, ACT, phase 2. I'll keep it as A2. So I'll say it as a digital circuits lab, digital electronics lab. So this is for digital electronics lab, you can use it. So similarly, I want to use it for something as a signal. So I want to use it for the electronic circuits 1 and 2 and 3 if you want to work on different labs over there. So how exactly use it? Very simple. So I need to have something as a signal. I'll go to Express, input, simulate a signal, I keep here. Yes, so I'll keep here as a signal. So one should be a sine wave, fine. So now what I'll do is, this is for sine wave here. So now I want to visualize this. So I create graph indicator. So I run once, so I get a sine wave form. So I want to do one more thing. This is, I want to change it as a pulse. So this is from -1 to +1. So I'll change my offset as 0.5 so that I want to keep my amplitude also 0.5 so that it will be lies within the range of 0 to 1. So I'll say okay here. So now what I'll do it is, so this is my square signal. So here I'll create a graph. So now what I'll do it is, I'll take addition. So I create indicator. So now, do you see here, you can work on different signal operations, you can teach them. Different types of signal operations, you can teach them in a very, very simple way. I run once. Do you see? There is a cut here. So instead of it, if I say it as a triangle. So now when I run here, you could see the variations, or two signals are getting added up each and every sample point there. So now I'll make it as a square. Instead of this, if I do multiply, what happens now? I'll get a half wave here. So only positive pulse I have. So if I want to showcase for multiple cycles, so what could I do it is, I can give different frequencies over there. So I'll say it as a frequency, I create a control. So the same element should be present over here. So this is the signal frequency here. I replace them with numeric control, so it will be easy for me to replace the elements. So I want this to run continuous. So for signal execution control, I'll make it as a while loop. So I got a while loop with the stop button to stop the control execution. So I keep here. So when I run here, see, it runs at a very faster rate. So I want to slow it down. So I'll add a time delay so that I can visualize them. So I create a constant. So I'll say 100. And now if you see here, when I run here, so the signals will keep on move. Now the frequency is very less. So that's why I could see only one cycle over there. So when I try to increase more number of cycles, I could only see the half wave. So now if I want to keep things very clear for me, so what should I do? So what should I do here is, so I want to see only the input and output. I want to see all the three signals. So what could I do here is, I try to take one element, I'll try to connect here. I'm combining all the three signals to the single one. So now I run here. So I'll get all the three datas. So now in this, I want to showcase three different signals. So now I want to showcase all the three different signals. So if you see there is a small change in it. There is a small change in it. So I'll try to replace them with a chart. I try to stop, stack plots, visible item, graph palette. I'll try to zoom the portion. So do you see over here? So how exactly it comes in it? So now the problem here is, when the sine waveform, all the 3 points what I'm visualizing here. So where I have a full cycle, where I have only half cycle. So these things I can easily visualize. Wherever I have this positive pulse, I have this peak. Wherever I have a negative pulse, it is flat over there. So such kind of things, when you want to explain during class, you can make use of these examples. When you go to regular lab, so what you can do is, you can try to rig up your circuit here. You can try to rig up your circuit. You can use this function generator oscilloscope to generate and see. See, afternoon in the demo sessions, I will show you how exactly we can acquire data from channel 0 and channel 1, how we use for it. So these things will really help you when you want to work on different kinds of labs. For example, I'll save it as a hardware rectifier here, or I'll say it as a circuits lab. So now, if I want to work on, an op-amp related applications, it will be very simple. I'll be only generating a signal. So I'll be only generating a signal here. So now in this, one will be, I create a graph indicator. So this is the sine waveform. So now I'll say it as a non-inverting signal. Now I want to have an inverting signal. How could I do? There is something called as negate in LabVIEW. So which will reverse it. So now what I'll do it is, I'll have a copy of it. I'll say it as an inverting signal. So now what will happen here is, now I run here, so it will be an inverting signal. So now I can define, so how exactly my signals has to go through it. So for example, if I have something as an op-amp, So this is something as an image I'm just taking for the reference here. So I'll just take a line. So one end will be for the inverting input, other one will be for the non-inverting input. So I want to showcase how things will go in it. So what I'll do it is I can easily go and connect with this. So here I can showcase how exactly my signals will move in it. So one is for the non-inverting input, one is for the inverting input. So here I'll get the resulting output in the sense. So whether this output will be my result output here. Output signal bracket amplified. So now here I could say this is number 2, this is number 3. So pin terminals. So if I want to have the same line, I could copy. So I could say here 6. So which will be my resulting output. So if I want to type UA741 is the IC which I am using. Size 36. So this is the IC which I'm using here. So to this icon, if you give this input, this is how you will get it. So it should be a higher output over there. So it would be a multiplied one. So I need to give the inverting gain or non-inverting gain. So I'll say multiply. So this will be the signal. So here I'll create a control, which is a gain. So this gain value will be the multiplying factor for this output line here. So now what I'll say it as 1. It will be the same output. I'll say 2. So whatever input signal I have given, it has taken through this input signal, it is gained by 2. So this signal what I have, hope it is visible here. So non-inverting signal which I have given as an input here for the gain purpose. So I have a non-inverting signal for the gain. So which means this block is my amplifier block. So this label is a multiplier. So this is my amplifier block. So now to the multiplier, am I giving as a one minute. Terminus. So I'll go to block to the multiplier, which means to the amplifier, whether I give it as a non-inverting input or I'll give it as an inverting input. So if I give as an inverting input, I remove this, I connect this output there. So now I run with this. So it will be the reverse one. So now if I want to change this programmatically, so if I want to change this programmatically, so how I will be doing it? I'll take one case structure. So here I create a control. So this is a Boolean control. I replace this with Boolean slide switch. I'll take a slide switch. Input type. Size. I'll make it as 36, so it will be visible to all. So in this input type, so if I say or quite in a simpler way also we can make in an easy way. So I'll take a vertical toggle type. So in this toggle type, what I do it is on or off. So this input type I'll try to keep here. Size I keep 14. So this is input type. We still extend these wires. So actually this is not wire, this is just a simulation for understanding purpose which I am keeping here. So whether the input type is 3 or 2, so this will be false and this will be true. So now what I'll do it is, I connect this input type over here. So now in this case, what happens? In this case, what happens is, in inverting type, if the condition is non-inverting, I'll directly keep this as a non-inverting signal, which I take it out, I'll give it to the multiply. If it is false as an inverted, so what I'll do it is, to the signal, I will convert, I invert that signal, I'll give it back to the purpose here. So it's very simple. So I'm just making a small logic for our application understanding. So here in this will be the logic decider. So this will be the logic decider, whether it has to send an inverting signal or non-inverting signal. So now what I'll do is, I run my program continuous there. So now it is false, so it is sending the inverting signal. When I change this to true, so it will be a non-inverting signal. So input amplitude 5, gain is 5. So it is the value whatever you have given in this, it is amplified with the value 5 there. So non-inverting, it will be there in it. So this is for programmatically you are doing. So the same thing which you are working with your lab. Again, procedure is same. Rig up your circuit on the breadboard, have a toggle switch. In a toggle switch, whether it has to give through your inverting input or non-inverting input, the other line has to be grounded. So based on that, you will be using it for your applications there. So I think these kind of small examples, what I show you in the simulation part, I think this will help you in handling the regular classwork activities along with your circuits part. So here, if you see, I have shown you 3 different work. So one could be your normal digital circuits lab. So one could be a normal digital circuits lab. I'm just starting from simple AND gate OR gate to, you can use it for any of your digital flip-flops also you can use with. You can use it for your digital flip-flops also you can use with. So you can develop your own logics. The same thing, you can use it for your different circuits lab, half wave rectifier or full wave rectifier, or you can use it for your different LIC lab also, so different purposes. So it's all different about how you explain concepts and take them to the regular lab activities. So that is the one important thing what I could see here. Then when it work on the hardware part, it is all same. So everywhere, wherever you want to use with it, the diode is going to act as the same way. The function generator is going to act as the same way. The oscilloscope is going to acquire and show you the signal. Op amp, it works as the same way how you are going to give it as your voltage levels there in it. So it's all how you are going to explain for your different lab activities with the help of your NI-LVIS hardware. See, the hardware part comes only at the 3rd step, because first step will be your theory, the regular classwork. How you teach, what are the concepts you are going to teach them. So once after the truth table concepts, once after your circuit concepts, everything you taught them, then you are going to use some simulation tool activities to keep them understand about, see, this is what we have seen in theory, this is how it may look like when you go for your lab. So before they get into lab, they will understand how things will work here. when I work on different signals of different frequencies, so how exactly things will work on in it. Then if I want to go on different kinds of labs, how things will work. Then when I go on my regular lab, then when they keep their hands into the hardware, when they keep their hands dirty and making the circuits in it, then they literally understand, yes, what the faculty taught us in the Blackboard was this. What I learned through the simulation tool is this. So now I'm trying to compare the simulation tool output with the help of the hardware platform. What do I have here? So now it would be the third step where I learn things here. So whatever you have seen in this, these are all as a one evolution of it, where you could understand these concepts in a better way there. So one advantage of going with this hardware is this could be the one hardware where you could use for different lab applications. Yes, where you could use it for the different lab applications. So now I think it's almost 12:45. So I just want to put for a query. If you have any queries, then probably you can ask me. Afternoon, we can discuss about the demonstrations of the components and circuits there. And one important thing, nle.com/teach. See, these teaching resource materials are free for faculties. These teaching resource materials are free for faculties. So only thing is, for example, introduction to circuits. So if you take with this, so here you take this course or download course. Here if you see, translated resources are available in resource tab. Instructor resource available, get access. When you get into get access here, so where request instructor access, so where you need to define your university name, your college name, college details, your college website. If you have your own faculty profile page in your college website, you can define there and you can submit. So NI team will directly share the details and BIs and manuals coursework to your email ID directly with this. So instructor page is free, so where you can easily have an access and you can start work with that. So this is one good advantage you have. So as for different lab works, what you have in it. So different applications you can use for it. So this is for wireless communications principles. So if you see there, there are different top boards. So in Google, if I say that NI Elvis 3, NI Elvis top boards, so you'll get different add-on boards information. Could you see there for different applications you have? So for different applications you can take with this. So one for this is for biomedical applications, and this is for vertical takeoff and thrust. This would be a thrust fan will be there, so you'll get vertical takeoff controls. You can do VTOL, all vertical takeoff and landing applications. These are the different boards, logic boards what we have. So I think what could I say here is this is for somewhere as one what could say is one base platform which will allow you to work on different labs. So if you have this one hardware, then you can use it for different labs. So whenever you want to conduct a different lab, what you can do is you remove this top board and you can insert this top board so that you can do it your sensors lab. So then if you change this, you will use it your actuators lab. When you use this, then you'll use it as your controls lab. So this is what the same applications will be there in it, and you can use it for any of your purpose there with that. So if you have any queries, then probably you can chat. If possible, post the session on attendance, please. Something for the organizer. Any queries? Any queries you have? How can I install all the software required for NIL2 pluses? Sorry, there is an NI Elvis 2 plus software bundle we have. So with the help of it, we can install it. I'll try to get you NI Elvis 2 software download. So this is NI Elvis MX download. This is NI Elvis software suite download. So these things will help you out where you can install all the software for the NI Elvis 2 hardware. So here, this is for 2019 version software suite, which will install all the modules for it. So here, I have given that link. So with the help of this link, you can download and you can install it. So it is free. Does it include LabVIEW? No. So LabVIEW you need to download separate. I think the software suite includes LabVIEW. So software suite includes LabVIEW, whereas only LabVIEW does not. Software suite includes LabVIEW, yes. but it will be only on evaluation, or LV only. LV software is hardware drivers, so that will be there. But whereas LabVIEW will be comes only with evaluation. It comes only for 45 days evaluation. So can you please post the link where we can download the student version of LabVIEW software? Sure. So LabVIEW. So free trial. So in free trial, you can use the base full professional option. So this will get you the student version of it, or you can choose the community version also. So community version is this is a non-commercial purpose and non-academic purpose. So you can use for basic. So this you can use it for your student purpose. This comes along with the drivers. Hardware drivers also you'll get with that. So this is for the LabVIEW software. So LabVIEW software student version. So while installation, you don't want to install all. So you can choose what are the modules you need. That alone you can choose and you can install for the evaluation period. Because once you keep on install, it will occupy most of your hard disk space. So you can choose only limited options and you can install if you want to work only on very basic questions. Excuse me. So any other queries you have?
Participants, any other
Can you
queries?
tell me what extra privileges we'll get with academic suite from NI? So first I'll tell you what is the privilege of academic license. So academic license is something as for industry, if you see this LabVIEW professional or whatever they take, it is only a basic LabVIEW only we will get out of it. You will not get any additional toolkits in it. So even in this LabVIEW base full professional also, whatever you get also, you'll get only with the basic software you will get, not with the additional toolkits you will get. For example, if I say something as a modulation toolkit, modulation toolkit for LabVIEW, if you take, this is a separate toolkit. So if I say something as a advanced signal processing toolkit, this is a separate toolkit. So this separate toolkit, if you want to purchase, so this particular one separate toolkit, if you want to purchase, you need to purchase separately for industries. So advanced signal processing, if you want to purchase, the industries has to purchase individual toolkits. For academic, what would be the benefit is, so you have these options, whatever you purchase, you will get everything is included in it. So there's machine learning toolkit or modulation toolkit or digital filter design toolkit or advanced signal processing toolkits. So these toolkits will come along with the academic suite, whereas for industry, you will not get it. So for research also only very limited you will get, not for all. For academic, you will get maximum all the toolkits you will get supported with that. Along with all the NI hardware driver support you will get with this academic suite license. And along with this, so for industry, if you see for the support for every visit or whatever it will be on the chargeable basis. For academic, it won't be as that. So there will be a basic support package for 1 year duration will be provided along for industry there. Sorry, academic, it will be given 1 year support for throughout this program, or any upgrade you will get within this period, you will get with this academic suite. So that will be comes for the academic purpose. Whereas for industry, it won't be go. Academics will get lot of benefits when compared to industry part. I hope I answered your question, sir.
Okay, thank you, Manimaran sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the session, sir. The other session will start at 2 o'clock, sir. Dear participants,
Yeah, yes,
please
sir.
join for the session at 2 o'clock using the same link.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. So we'll meet by 2 o'clock, then we'll discuss about the demonstration and further. Yeah, thanks. Sir, I'll take a leave now.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks.